In this part of our video, we're going to cover some aspects of interpersonal positioning. Some learning outcomes for this lesson are to define interpersonal positioning, identify some of the tools we have as writers, and I want you to be able to apply that knowledge to writing your wiki. As a quick review, we know that inter means between, personal refers to people, and position means where you are or where you stand. So the definition for interpersonal positioning is how writers position themselves, their readers, and the knowledge in the social space of writing. Part of interpersonal positioning is about how you use language to interact with your audience. We're going to cover 6 of these interactional resources in this video. You can think of interactional resources as writing tools. The first writing tool that we're going to look at is hedging. We'll also cover boosters, attitude markers, self-mention, engagement markers, and the last and maybe most important is about citing sources. So the first of our tools is hedging. Some really common words used to hedge are words like may, might, can, possibly, perhaps, likely. If we started a sentence with one possible explanation may be, we have 2 hedges, possible and may. Hedging allows us to leave room or space for other opinions, options, arguments, and points of view. It's really important to use hedging in your writing. The second of our interactional resources are called boosters. Words like certainly, obviously, extremely, or even some verbs like demonstrates or proves something. You can think of boosting as the opposite of hedging. If you use boosting language, it sounds like you're not leaving any room for others, or maybe you assume your audience agrees with you. The third of our interactional resources are called attitude markers. Attitude markers are different from hedging and boosting, as they let the reader know how I feel about what I'm saying. Say I'm writing about an upcoming election. If I use a word like unfortunately, you can tell that I have negative feelings about the subject. As where if I said something like, this remarkable candidate, you'd know that I have more positive feelings about it. These are attitude markers. Where we can think about hedging and boosting as being opposites, we can also think about self-mention and engagement markers as being 2 sides of the same coin. Writing has an author and a reader. If you include yourself as the author in the writing, using words like I, me, my research, these words would be self-mention. Some academic writing requires self-mention, and some other types of writing do not use it very often. Engagement markers are about the reader. Words like you, we, note that, or consider. You may want to bring the readers into the writing by using these engagement markers or by asking questions. The last and maybe most important tool you have is citation. Citing good academic sources carefully is so important in academic writing. Choose your sources that you want to cite carefully, as it will affect your interpersonal positioning. Citing .coms, websites, Wikipedia, and other unreliable sources can hurt your writing's credibility. As a UBC student, you have full access to the UBC library, and your professors will expect you to use it. In this part of our video on interpersonal positioning, we looked at 6 interactional resources. Now it's time to go apply it to your writing.